Hi everybody, you're now experiencing the Gretna Bill Show.
Hi everybody, we're here at Lancaster Velo. And we're going to go inside and talk to Jeremy about performance night here at Lancaster Velo. Come on in. Hi guys.
What's up?
Welcome to the Gretna Bill Show.
Man, thanks for having us.
Dude, this is great.
Gretna Bill in the house.
Yeah, man. We're here for performance night, so tell us what's going on about that.
Yeah, so we're in the shop here at Lancaster Velo, Lancaster, PA, and we are having performance night tonight in the shop. So what this consists of is time for cyclists, reps, companies to network in an environment that is inclusive and it's not sales driven, it's more about information. So if you want to come see a new bike, you want to see new product, you want to see, you know, a rep that could explain that to you better than maybe the mechanics who just work on it, which, you know, sometimes the people that sell them, they've got some more inside scoop to the new stuff that's coming out, and we don't always see that as a bike shop until you know, it's already out. And then we're gonna use this opportunity to just really bring people together and just have a good time.
Yeah, this looks really cool. And so you got a master fitter here by name of Matt Steinmetz. Is he here today?
So Matt Steinmetz flew in last night. So if you're not familiar with Matt Steinmetz, he is a world-renowned bike fitter. He has fit people by the likes of Roman Bardet, Alexander Crowe, you know, and Heather Jackson, a lot of triathletes. He's done fittings for the Cannondale squad as well. So yeah, he came in last night. His connection is Andrew Yoder. So Andrew is a professional triathlete out of Lancaster as well. So he has done Yoder's fits in the past. And Yoder has about 30 athletes in Lancaster, and a lot of them were looking to get a elite fit. So the shop here, we facilitated, Steinmetz was set up over here for about 6 to 7 hours today. Woo! Yeah, just hammering out fits. He also used it as an opportunity to talk to Craig and I a little bit more about the bike fitting process with the elite level stuff that he's doing, which was cool because neither of us are master fitters. We do basic fits. Craig obviously is a master mechanic, but I enjoyed the time to actually learn more about the process and how he goes about it. He has a sports science background. He has a degree in that, so he's very intelligent.
And physiology, right?
Yep. So that was cool. So he's coming back tonight. We have the fridge pizza and South County beer, which a lot of people love that.
Yep.
So our buddy Jamie Fuddy, again, it just goes to speak to the networking of the cycling community. And if you have, you know, a plumber or electrician, or you need bike lights, or you need pizza and beer, they typically will go through the shop and you make a connection relationship, and then it just sticks. So it's just a cool way to give back too. You support other local businesses. So.
I haven't seen Andrew Yoder in quite a while, so that'll be cool.
So he's got a funny story. He remembers you well from Wednesday Worlds. This was a while ago when he used to race and train more road stuff. So that'll be funny. But I'll let him speak more about that.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got some really cool stuff like our Cervelo guys here. He brought some.
Looks like Wade.
Yep, Wade Hess is here.
There. Say hi, Wade.
So he brought some Cervelo stuff, Niner stuff. Up until yesterday, we had Niner's very first full suspension gravel bike, the Magic Carpet Ride, but we delivered that bike a day early, so you guys could have saw that. But really cool bike. So yeah, just neat stuff. We've got the P5 disc. This is Cervelo's highest end tri bike. Just a lot of neat stuff. So be a good time to hang out and just chat.
Yeah, cool. Let's go back there and see Craig. Yo, Craig Nichols, welcome to the Gretna Bill Show.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, we first met in 2009 back at the original Gretna bikes, and then you've been here for about a year.
About a year, yep. Year in November.
First. Demise of Gretna Bikes.
Yes, after the demise of Gretna Bikes, was there for 7 years, and it went sour in the last year, and that was unfortunate, but now we're here.
Dude, and you're surviving your crash that you had early in the year, right?
Yeah, bad.
How you feeling?
Feeling good. That was April 25th. So, collarbone, ribs, 3 vertebrae, and my sacrum. Kind of sucked. Yeah.
Good to see you're up and riding again, man. Hopefully you'll race one day again. Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Cool. So, this is where all the good work gets done by the Bike Whisperer, right?
Yeah.
So, show us around, man.
We got Bay 1 right here. This is where Jeremy typically works. Bay 2, this is where I work. See the sticker right here? It says head wrench. We got a wheel truing area back there in the corner with some tubes. Tools are in the middle, and then repair bikes over here on the left-hand side.
And up there is Jeremy's Bar Championship jersey.
2012 PA Bar Champ.
Right on, man.
On the old Super 6 from Cannondale.
Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And thanks for that quick tour. And it looks like people are starting to roll in now. And so we're going to start mingling about. And we're going to meet Matt
Steinmetz.
He is master fitter. They came in from Boulder, Colorado. And then we're going to also meet
Andrew Yoder.
Right. And he's our Lancaster Zone triathlete, runs Yoder Performance Training, I believe. So
he did a great job fitting. Moved a couple things on my bike, but we focused more on my riding technique than actually major adjustments. Everything was pretty close, but he constantly was on me about how I was riding and how I was pedaling, and just making sure to keep on with that, and just have to stick with it. And that's the hardest part.
What things was he telling you might want to change or do better or not do? Or
So basically to roll my pelvis forward when I pedal, just to be in a more neutral pedaling position. It puts less strain on my arms, neck, and back. And hopefully over time is a more powerful position.
yeah, so before we go out there and mingle about, go over the brands real quick again that you guys are carrying in terms of bikes.
Yeah, so we have Cervelo, Cannondale, Argon 18, and Niner.
Very cool. All right, let's go out and mingle. Thanks, Craig.
Welcome.
Yo, Wade Hess. Dude, welcome to the Gretna Bill Show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And where'd you come from today?
Deptford Township, New Jersey.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing today? What are you going to show us? Go ahead and hold the mic if you want. I'll hold your beer.
Yeah. So, conveniently hold my beer. I'm on to you. So, I'm here showing off some of the products that the guys here, Craig and Jeremy, stock and sell. Cervelo bicycles, Niner bicycles, and Silka accessories. So, yeah. So,
Show us what we're looking at here.
So, what we're looking here, this is the Cervelo R3 road race bicycle. I got set up with a few of the Silka accessories, the Americana roll bag, Silka carbon bottle cages, Pioneer power meter as well. Silka accessories, some really nice handcrafted tools. You can get your name or shop logo or your club logo engraved on here if you want.
Where are those made?
So these are made overseas and here in the United States. It depends on the product.
How's that work?
How's it? So we have
The power meter.
So there's a sensor behind the cap here, and then you have another sensor on the other leg.
You can do left, right.
Correct. It
Beautiful.
sends a signal up to the computer, and you can actually monitor your pedaling, so you can see how efficient you are in right leg versus left leg.
Yeah,
plus wattage and
I gotta have
kilojoules.
that. I've got some
So-
issues. So, so I can buy that product here.
Yeah. Yes,
And
you
then
can.
you got to do their head unit too, right?
Actually, it's AMP Plus, it's Bluetooth, it's Wi-Fi. So you can, Wahoo, Garmin, The Pioneer computer head will actually give you more data than anyone else out there, though.
How much does this retail for? I love the left to right thing with my hip injuries and stuff.
Starting at around $375, and then it goes up from there. Whether you want single arm, dual arm, and a computer head. So
Sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for being on the Gretna Bill Show.
No problem. Thank you.
So, yeah, why is Matt here? Why are you guys here? Tell me what you guys want to accomplish. You got him here, right, for the most part?
Yeah, I've known Matt for 10 years. So when he started to get into Retool, I was living in Boulder, and he was the guy. So I saw him early on, and I would fly out to Boulder, get my fit from him, and then come back here and train. And so I've always respected him, and I've sought out his advice. So I was looking to get a fit, and I was thinking, okay, how am I going to get out to Boulder? And I thought, well, I have a squad here who need fits, and let's bring them in. And so I try to provide the best resources for my group.
Yeah.
And leave no stone unturned, bring them in. And it's been great. Like within sending out the schedule, it's filled up in 20 minutes. Like 11 slots, my squad just took them up like that.
That's awesome. And Jeremy, thanks for being a host for this too, right?
Yeah, I basically reached out right away, and they jumped on it.
You know what we say in Jamaica, man? We say, no left turn on stone.
And that might lead it right into...
Well, that leads into...
And that leads into my my edit of my first Gretna Bill story when I was 16, and there was fresh grass savings on the road, and he looks at me and says, there's so much grass here, I could smoke it. And I was like, I came for Wednesday Worlds, and I'm getting an education out here. So,
Sweet,
yeah.
dude. Good stuff.
Man, it's good.
Greg?
Yeah, Gretna Bill Show.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Andrew Yoder.
Hey, thanks so much.
Welcome. Thanks for coming. Matt Steinmetz.
Hey everyone.
Welcome. Okay, cool. We're here at Performance Night at Lancaster Velo, and so first of all, I want to talk to each of you guys. I'll take the mic and I'll hand it to you, and tell us about what you've been doing and your company, and go from there. What you did today.
So my company is Yoder Performance, and I started this in 2016. At that point, I was transitioning out of racing triathlon, and it was what was the next step for me. And so I started to coach a few local athletes, and every year it grew, and I've evolved and started to create my own methodology, and the squad locally became a pretty strong foundation. And during that time, I also got back into racing. So the coaching kind of brought back the love for triathlon for me.
And you're working over at F&M, right?
Yeah, so we swim in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Most people have to get to work, so we're in there at 5 o'clock, and we're done by 6:30. And then every month I hold bike and run sessions throughout Lancaster County. And these provide me opportunities to provide real coaching in person.
Yeah, and so you were gonna change over to road racing, and you said something tonight about your personality and how it didn't go so well, and I found that really interesting. So how did that go then?
Well, I went in I think I was pretty arrogant, because I thought I'd go in and just rise through, go right to pro, have no issues. I thought I had the power to wait, but it's so much more than that. And I learned quickly that I'm not an aggressive personality, so if there was a gap or if I had to hold position, I just couldn't do it.
And if I remember correctly, the first couple of races in that spring, you crushed it only because you could get away and run it.
Yeah, no one knew who I was, so I was scared.
It's like, this guy's gonna crush it.
I was scared shitless, so I would just bolt and I would get away and solo the whole race. So it wasn't really bike racing; it became a time trial.
What was and what is your watt to your kilogram to watt right now, and what was it when you made that switch, roughly?
I would say it was in the 5s, depending on low, mid 5s, depending on how heavy I was. So it depends on the time of season.
You were holding how many watts for how long, roughly, during those days? Is it more related to your triathlon career?
When I was doing the TTs, which between were 40 to 50 minutes, I was 350 to 360.
All right, cool. Matt Steinmetz, take that mic. So thanks for coming out all the way from Boulder.
Yep, from Boulder, Colorado.
And tell us a little bit about what you've been doing so far. Your resume is incredible, man.
Yeah, so I graduated from Ball State University with a master's degree in exercise physiology, and that was I'm from Indiana, and I really wanted to get into endurance sports. So I knew that I needed to move out to where the action was. So I moved out to Boulder, Colorado, and that is where I was kind of quickly made a name for myself as someone who utilized technology to improve athlete performance. And from there, I started, working with a lot of professional athletes. I got an opportunity to work at a bike fit company called Retool. And
right, I remember that.
Yeah, and so that exposed me to, the ability to not only start, working with athletes on like the equipment optimization and bike position and wind tunnel testing, but also, from a coaching capacity.
Yeah, Retool was interesting because I'm going back. I'm going to date myself. What I always do, like 2004 or something. I went up to New York and I went to the Serrata School of Fit. I mean, we were still using like plumb bobs and protractors and shit, and that was just 2004. So you really came into it at a good time when we started to blend technology with old school fit. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got really lucky where that is what I learned on. And it was interesting just because I was talking to the guys earlier here at Velo about how I learned how to do bike fit. And I knew like what good bike positioning looked like before I knew like how to use the tools, how to... So the way I do it is I use the technology to confirm what I see versus using the technology to tell me how to position a rider.
We actually have you working with Craig. We're going to get that video from Jeremy about his fit, and he said the same thing. It was you were kind of leading him to say this is what you should look like, almost backwards, intuitively backwards, kind of like this is the way you should look. Now let's get to that position, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I always talk about orthodoxy. Like in a lot of sports, there's what's considered like proper technique to do something, and it's really trying to guide people to that orthodoxy. It doesn't mean that that's always the right way to do something, but I think over time, great athletes figure out what the proper technique is to do something. So if we can, we're going to strive to be able to, kind of mimic that. I mean, it's like the high jump. At one point, everyone was, jumping over it face first until
Fosbury came along.
Yeah, he came along, changed the technique, and now everyone's doing that.
You're right. You came in right into the business at that apex, kind of, with some good academic credentials to back it up. And so, how many pros that we would know of that all of our viewers want to know? It's like, he fitted like the Cannondale team. So, like, you can drop some names for us?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with, a lot of, Tour de France. I mean, I'm trying to think how many, like, Tour de France winners I've worked with. Probably 4 or 5 of Tour de France winners. A bunch of Ironman world champions. Craig Alexander, Miranda Carfrae, Chrissy Wellington, Andrew Yoder, this guy. I don't know. Trying to think of other.
That's awesome. And the name of your company in Boulder, or are you just self-named, like Matt Steinmetz? Or?
So no, I started a company called 51 Speed Shop, and so I'm making bike component. Basically, what I'm trying to focus on is the contact points of the bicycle.
Makes sense.
And mainly because I've spent 12 years, as the bridge between bicycle manufacturer and rider satisfaction. So I'm using that experience to be able to, design product around the rider with rider feedback.
And the name of that company is something.com, right?
Yeah, 51speedshop.com. So it's 51-speedshop.com.
So saddles and short reach handlebars and, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, working on saddles right now. And yeah, we have aero bars. I'd like to do a pedal or a crank or something at some point, but
I always
not
have a
there
problem
yet.
with the reach of the bars, and the height of that. I'm always like screwing around with that. So it's not just the stem, You know, there's so much other stuff going on up there. And then there's the whole saddle thing. You know how that goes. Jeez.
It's the most important part of the bike is the saddle.
Right. I saw you fit Craig up today on his, what do you call those? Is his a podium? Or
he is on his saddle.
Yeah.
He's on an ISM. I don't know their so it's PN, which stands for Performance Narrow 3.0 or 3.1.
How are those saddles different when you're looking at a regular saddle and you're comparing that and you're trying to fit somebody else and they say, this is the saddle I want. So you've got to adjust your thinking a little bit, right?
Yeah, a lot of people want to sit on a bike seat like we're sitting in our stools right now. But because you have to bend over, it doesn't really work that well. So you need, the pelvis to be able to rotate with the shoulders. And what ends up happening is, we roll over onto soft tissue, which is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So saddles like that, kind of the newer anatomical saddles will allow us to, rotate forward without that, soft tissue pressure, and places more weight on bone, which is not your sit bone. Like we're sitting on our sit bones right now, but it rolls over like to our ischial tuberosity or our pubic rami.
So then your saddles are gonna come with various widths and lengths, I assume, which is almost a standard thing now, but it shouldn't be. Is that correct?
Yeah, what we're trying to do is our development process is rather than just make something we think is going to work, what we're doing is I work with a guy named Nick Lehecka and another guy who makes some custom carbon stuff, Simmons Racing. And what we're doing is we're making a lot of prototypes and doing kind of more of a UX UI like trial where we're kind of letting the consumers tell us like where to go with the design versus us just doing something that we think.
Oh, that's great stuff. Love to hear that. I love to hear that, man. Thanks for coming out. Andrew, thanks for showing up. Greg?
No, I think I'm good right now. No, I can't think of anything right now. Yeah.
Andrew, you got any war stories for us? War stories?
War stories. Not really, but I remember my first ride with you. I was probably 16, and it was at Wednesday Worlds.
Wow.
Yeah, I still remember it. And I think like those years, 16, 17, racing with that local crew really helped develop me and shape me into like the early days as an athlete.
Keep you out of trouble.
Keep me out of trouble, and it was great to have that, that local bike community to kind of launch me into my triathlon career.
There's so much history. There's so much history with Wednesday Worlds, and it's so unfortunate that this year Greg and I witnessed the demise of it. We actually went down there early when the season's just kicking off in April, and it was him and me and Spittle, I think.
We pretty much own the B group. We're the B group masters. So
we were forced to ride with the A group, but it didn't matter because it was only Spittle, and Spittle looks around and goes, I'm going home. And it was just me and him, and I'm like, how does it go from like 50, 60 guys to two of us?
It used to be harder than races.
Yeah, and it was a great time. Wednesday Worlds, they have them all over the world because it's a classic time. Race on the weekend, go hard on Wednesday night. Thanks for being on the Gretna Bill Show, you guys. I appreciate it.
So Matt Steinmetz and I think David Letterman, Ball State.
Yes.
The two most famous alums from Ball State. We have one right here.
That is true. I saw that, and I immediately said Indiana. And the first thing that came to my mind, no, that's cool. The first thing that comes to my mind about Ball State and Indiana is you guys don't participate in daylight savings time. Is that correct? Or do you not?
Little area there.
I think it's split. Is it? I don't even know if it's east-west. Is it? Isn't it north-south?
I don't know. It's like if you cross Route 70, there's something there that it.
So anyway, I love that,
It's
man.
been a while. I enjoyed college too much to remember.
Exactly. Like I said last couple episodes ago, I go, these guys are actually hitting the books instead of the dartboard, what I was doing all day long. But yeah, I love that. I love the fact that Indiana goes, I don't think I'm participating in daylight savings time.
Yeah, we're going to pass on this one.
All right. Fair enough. Thanks, guys. Thanks for a great show. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for coming out here, man. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrew.